everybody, it's Michelle, and today I've got for you an advanced level athletic mat Pilates workout. So we're gonna have a lot of fun, try to set the egos aside and just kind of have a spirit of experimentation and trying new things. And it's okay if you try and fail, just try it again. So I hope maybe we get to try some new things today for you. We're gonna take some of the reformer repertoire and kind of turn it into some mat Pilates exercises, so keep an eye out for that. And then, yeah, some classic advanced mat exercises, some extra fun things thrown in. It's just gonna be a big party, okay? So let's get started. We don't need any props. Start seated on your mat, and we're gonna get going with a dynamic warm-up. Okay, so go ahead and sit with your feet out in front of you, your knees bent. You can be a little wider than hip width apart, hands back behind you on the mat, and then just start kind of dropping your knees from side to side. Yeah, you don't have to be too precise about it. Feel a little bit of a pressing away sensation of the hands into the floor. Yeah, you can go through this a little quicker, or you can spend some more time in these stretches if you need to. Yeah, we're just kind of mobilizing the hips, getting the lower body moving, okay? Really think of that back knee pressing forward, letting the hip come off the floor. Very nice. All right, now drop your legs to one side, take your back hand over, and you're gonna slide it across away from your legs. Go as far as you can. You'll get a big stretch through the side of your body, and then come back and do that to the other side. Drop your knees, move this back arm across, slide the hand forward, and your other hand, elbow can soften. Yeah, keep going, drop the knees, reach and slide. Yeah, so now since this is more of an advanced class, we're going to be moving a little quicker, maybe a little less explanation for things. So use your intuition and your body sense, and I know we'll do great. Okay, now let's stay in one of those stretches and hold here for an extra breath or two. If you'd like, you can take your back leg and try to reach it straight as far behind you as you can to get a nice opening through the hip. And then bend that knee and switch to the other side. Drop, reach, hold in your stretch, and then take your back foot and slide it away on the mat till you get a nice stretch up through that oblique. Bend the knee, swing back, and face forward. All right, now stay with the hands and feet down and just shrug your shoulders up and down a couple times. Yeah, so get that shoulder joint moving. Really feel those muscles that depress the shoulders as you drive them down. Now stay in that downwardly pressed place and lift your hips up high. If it feels good, you can release your head and then set your hips down. Do that again. Lift up, keep that pressure down with the arms. Yeah, let's do that 2 more times. Last one. Now this time when your hips get down, slide your feet forward, circle your arms out and around, hollow over your legs, and then come back. Bend the knees, replace the hands, and go up and down. Keep moving through that. Flex, slide the hands away, replace, chest up, and lift and lower. Yeah? A few more times. So moving between these positions, nice and smoothly. Let's do that one more time, using your abdominals to support that forward fold. All right, very good. All right, now take one leg, reach it out to straight, kind of on the diagonal, so foot slightly off of your mat. So for me, I've got my right leg long. Take the opposite arm, for me that's my left arm, sweep it forward over the legs, lift your hips, post up on your bottom arm, and just take a big old stretch. Let your head hang back, drive the hips up and forward, and then slowly sweep back down and go to that same side again. Arm kind of tosses forward, press that bottom arm away from you, and then down. Let's do that 2 more times. So just find where this stretch feels good in your body. Really drive into that heel that's pressing behind you. Do that one more time. See if you can look for your back hand or even your back foot or the back corner of your mat, and then come down. Good, other side. Straighten your new leg, reach the other arm behind, sweep up and back, and then come down. Yeah, and you can keep this slow, really holding the position, or you can go a little faster, find some momentum, yeah? Just kind of feel it out in your body. One more time, big sweep and stretch. And then come all the way down. Very nice. All right, so now flip on over to your knees, okay? So we're gonna start with a cat stretch, and then we're gonna start to add in some elements to challenge that movement a little bit, okay? So find your neutral, knees under hips, hands under shoulders, and just take a nice extension, breathe in, and then exhale, drive into the floor, and flex your spine. Yeah, go in those two directions. So we'll go for a 2-breath pattern just to keep it simple. Exhaling on the flexion, inhaling to look up. You could reverse the breath pattern to make it a little more challenging. It's much harder to inhale when we're flexing the spine. Exhale when we extend. So that could be fun. Yeah, let's do that one more time. All right, now taking that basic spinal pattern and changing up our positioning, move your knees together as if you were on like a tightrope with your knees. So they're totally connected. Now do a few more here and really feel how those inner thighs squeezing totally changes the sensation in the lower body, yeah? Feel those abs and inner thighs making that position. And then really release and feel the sits bones widening on the stretch. Yeah, so as much as we find that connection, the release is just as important. All right, last one. Okay, next level of challenge, stack your hands one on top of the other in the center of your mat. So right underneath your nose. So it's almost like our hands and our knees are on a balance beam. Now let's try here, doing that same extension and that push into flexion. Good. So yeah, we have to be a little bit more aware of where our weight is. So going at the speed that works for you. Legs press in and down, widen those shoulder blades. All right, now take whichever hand is stacked on top and the opposite leg. Those are going to be the two we're going to work with, okay? So I want you to cross your top hand over your low back, slide the opposite foot away. So for me, I've got my right hand on my back and my left leg out straight, okay? Now try to line your foot up with your knee and your hand. That's going to make this more challenging. So as if you were on a balance beam, now go into that same flexion and extension. So if you drew a line through your hand, your knee, and your foot, they would be just about in almost a perfect line with each other, which makes this so hard. If you're struggling, move that long leg out wider, okay? Let's do that one more time. Doesn't look like much, but oh my goodness, it's hard. All right, now lengthen to neutral. Pick that back leg up, grab it with the hand that's behind your back, and hold onto your foot or your ankle or whatever you can grab. Pull the heel towards your seat. Now kick up into your hand with your foot and go into the extension part of our cat stretch. Now round, flex your spine, and make like a figure 4 stretch with your lower body. So knee open and cross your ankle behind. Now if you're struggling, move your hand slightly wider. And then let's do that again. Press into the foot, lift your chest, feel that stretch from foot through the abdominals, and then flex your spine, cross your ankle behind your supporting thigh, and round into that figure 4 stretch. One more time. We said we were going to be challenged on this one. Good. Now flex and round into that figure 4. Whew. And then come down. So it's okay if it doesn't look pretty and you're wobbling all over the place. That's where we make the most leaps forward, is when things are really pushing us. So just go with it, okay? So now let's do cross your opposite hand on top And we'll start from being on that balance beam. So my knees are together, the new hand is stacked, and then we'll do a couple of the cat stretches here just to ground ourselves back. Now I moved my bottom hand out slightly on those last few. I was super duper struggling, so just know that's totally an option to make it doable. Yes, and then we'll aspire to not move our bottom hand someday. I could do about one leaving my hand there, okay? So now, top hand crosses over your low back, opposite foot as that crossed over hand reaches back, okay? Get it in one line with the rest of your limbs, and then round, and then extend. So the spinal action is the same. Maybe your range of motion isn't as great here. That's okay. Yeah, with that leg stretched back, makes it a little harder, especially to flex. Okay, let's do that one more time. All right, now lengthen to your neutral, lift the back leg, grab onto your foot and pull it to your sitting bone. Okay, now we kick up into the foot, extend the spine, feel that stretch through the leg and hip flexor. Now exhale, round and pull the foot behind the knee of the supporting leg, rounding the spine. Do that again, extend, push into the floor. Oh, I'm gonna lose it. Okay, I'm gonna move my hand out a little bit. Lift up and stretch, and then flex. It's not doing it perfectly or having it be pretty. That doesn't matter. Yes, it's the challenge and meeting it head on and just seeing how it goes. Yes. All right, let's do that one last time. And then flex the spine. All right, come on down. So that was fun, not your average cat stretch. All right, so now we're gonna go into a little bit of some knee stretch kind of action like we would do on the reformer, but we're gonna do it down on the mat, okay? Come down onto your hands and your knees, hip width and shoulder width apart though this time. Now start with your hands a little bit further forward from your shoulders so that there's more space between your hands and your knees. You decide exactly how much. So from here, all I want you to do is push the mat away, hover your knees up, and sit back, almost like a downward dog, but with bent legs, and then set your knees back down. Do that again, or like a runner on the starting blocks, but with both feet back, and then return. Yeah, do that a few more times. Hover the knees and press back to open the shoulders, and then come back down. Yeah, you can modify just by rocking your hips to your heels, but today's workout isn't really about modifying. It's about going crazy. So let's just see how we do. Leaning back. Whew. Now this time, lean back and stay. Keep your knees up, straighten your legs, and push to a plank. Rock back to that hover over your knees, and then touch your knees to the mat. Good, do that again. Hover and sit back, push to a plank, reverse, and touch down. So my shoulders start closer to my hands. They rock back, they push forward, they rock back, they push forward. You see that? I lean, and then I push, I lean, and then I push. Do that 2 more times. Good. Now maybe let's do a few more, except we just don't put our knees down. Back and forth from plank to that big leaning squat. 2. Last one. And then put the knees down. Sit back into a little shell stretch. Whew. Okay. Now we're going to go into a little bit of single leg knee stretch action, okay? The mechanics will be basically the same. So, hands a little further forward, hover the knees, and sit back towards the feet. Now, when I launch myself forward, I'm going to pull one knee up between my arms with me, and then replace it. Now do the other knee. Press and lower. You can rest when you need to, or go continuously through and down. Press. You can adjust how far forward those hands start if you need. Let's do 2 more. Last one. Sit back and place the knees on the mat. Ooh, there's a lot of work for our thighs. All right. Now, last one, we're going to turn it into more of a mountain climber, allowing the spine to flex. Okay? So, here we go. Hover the knees. We sit back. Press forward and bring a knee with you, round like you're trying to give it a kiss. Now sit back, bend your supporting knee, stretch the lifted leg. Now do that again. Round and push forward, flat back and reach. Last two. One bent leg, one straight leg. Now end up in that squat and we're going to go right away to the other side. Push and flex the spine, lengthen and sit back. It's like the leg, the spine, and the arms. Make one diagonal line. Last two. Last one. Put the foot down and then rest the knees on the mat. Woo. Ah, who needs a reformer? Good. Okay. Lovely. So that was exciting. Let's switch gears a little bit, come off our hands for a minute. So we're going to sit down with our legs out in front of us, okay? So we're going to go into a little rolling like a ball. Simple to start with, which is going to feel nice after some of what we just did. So roll behind your sitting bones, lift your legs up one by one, grab onto the sides of your legs. Okay, just a soft touch. Hold wherever you like. You can hold your calves, your knees, your thighs. I'm going to do calves. That sounds kind of nice for me. So now, to start your roll back, feel your abdominals sucking backwards, and that should be enough to tip you onto your shoulder blades and then come back up to balance. Do that again. Inhale as you tip and roll. Exhale and find your balance. Yes? So our spine maintains that same curve the whole time. Okay, now not allowing your chin to touch your chest. Yeah, that would mean our weight was going too far back up into our neck. We want to stop it on the tip of the shoulder blades. Now, this time when you come up to balance, hold. Keep this grip on your legs, straighten and separate to hip width apart. Bend your knees, bring them together, and do your roll back to your shoulders. Find your balance, open and separate, and then roll back down. You can segment that and make it slower, or start to smooth it into two movements. So by the time you're up, your legs are straight and wide, and then together and down. Open and lift, and then together. Two more times. Lift. Lengthening through your upper back, low back stays round. Okay, now pause at the top, leave your legs here and go into open leg rocker. So now this is going to feel different. It totally changes the lever, rolling with straight legs. So you get a little extra force on the roll down and then a little harder time finding your sitting bones on the way up. Yes, so slow things down accordingly. Let's do that two more times. Last one. Come all the way up. Bring your legs together and set them on the mat. Whew, so nice. I always love a good rolling like a ball. All right, let's come down onto our backs now. So lay down along the length of your mat. All right, we're going to go into some one leg circle, which is one of my favorite exercises. So reach your legs out, squeeze your inner thighs and ankles together, zip them up. Okay, so take, let's say our right leg first. I'm going to do my right leg at least. You do whichever leg you'd like. Low back will be neutral. Reach your right leg up towards the ceiling. Okay, the wider your hands are, the more help you have to stay stable. So pick where you'd like. You could even reach the arms for challenge. Now we're going to let the leg cross our midline and internally rotate and then circle it around to the side and up. Yes? So you pick, kind of see as we go along how big you're able to make this circle. Okay? So the goal is to keep the pelvis, the low back, as stable as possible and allow the spinning to happen within that hip socket. Yes? Now pause at the top. Really drive down with that leg on the floor and reverse it. Yes, so inhale to start the circle, exhale to finish. Good, 2 more times. Last one. Good. Now, bend this knee, grab onto it with your hands, pull the knee towards you, and I just want you to straighten and bend this knee 3 times. We're going to go into a reverse tree, okay? So, just like we do on the reformer, straighten and bend this knee 3 times just to start priming up the hamstring. Keep as much stretch on it as you can. Now pause on your third one. Get a good grip. Nod your chin. Kick your leg down slightly to help you crawl up the leg. Once you get to the top, either leave it straight, bend it if that's uncomfortable, and then we're going to roll back down. Tuck under, crawl down the leg as slowly as you can, and then bend the knee. Draw it closer to you at the bottom. Let's do that again. Reach the leg long, tuck your chin, kick down into your hands so you have that leverage, and then find your maximum stretch at the top. If you can grab your foot, great. And then tuck and roll back to the floor nice and slowly. Whew. And then bend your knee. Okay, let's do that one more time. Reach up, nod the chin. Just this attachment of the hands on the leg and the kicking down should be enough to get you off the mat. And then roll back down. Woo, and then bend the knee. Awesome. Okay, let's go ahead and do that all on the other side. So starting with the one leg circle, choose where you'd like your hands. Reach the leg up. All right, so crossing the midline first, let it fall across your center, and then circle around. Good. Yes, so as still as you can be everywhere else, allow that spinning to come from the hip. One more time. Now go ahead and reverse, other way. Hand up, circle. Whew. 2 more times. Last one. Good. Now pause with the leg up, grab it, bend the knee, and do 3 bend and stretches. You can grip however you need to with one hand high, both behind the knee, whatever feels good. Now pause with that straight leg. Nod your chin, kick down, and let your body come with that leg. Now set it up on a nice diagonal, as close to your body as you can get it. And then we roll away, bring the leg with us, and then bend it at the bottom. Whew. Let's do that again. We straighten it, nod the chin, push into the hands. Woo, curl up, get as much lift through the upper back as you can, and then exhale, bring the leg with you. Try to get it vertical. Whew. And then bend the knee at the bottom. Oh, so good. All right, one more time. Stretch it, nod the chin, pressure down, come up tall, and then roll back away from the leg. Woo! All right. Okay, awesome, you guys. All right, roll over to your side. Bring yourself up, and we're going to come up to our knees. So we're going to do a little variation on side leg series, which I enjoy a lot. So kneel down. Have your legs approximately hip width apart. All right, reach your arms out to the sides. So we're going to go into kind of a little kneeling cartwheel action, almost, half a cartwheel maybe. So we're going to lean to one side, remove our back knee off the floor, and as softly as we can, place a hand on the mat and reach our top leg long. Now hopefully this is about a 90-degree angle, and so is this. Yes? Now I bend the knee, I push off my hand, and come back up tall. Whew. The slower we do that, the better. So feel like you're moving through molasses. Float the knee, softly place the hand down and stretch, and then bend the knee, kind of spring off your fingertips and come up. Yes, and it's okay if you get stuck. Just hold your balance, and then push, like that, and then come up. Good, a few more times. Rushing through it is not the answer. Slow, is so much more challenging here. Okay, now get down on one side and stay. Place this hand on the hip, flex the foot, kick the leg forward in 2 pulses without affecting this bottom hip. Now press the leg back, point it, and reach it as far back as you can. Now we do that again. Inhale, inhale, exhale, stretch back. Good. Now try to keep most of the weight on your knee, so we're not heavily pushing into the hand. 2 more times. Good. Keeping your long spine. Last one. Kick. Kick. Reach back. Now line the leg back up side to side. Push to come up. And then stack the knees. Whew. Okay, other side. Here we go. Slow as you can. Find the floor. Extend the knee. Grab the hip. Flex the foot. And we kick. 1. Kick even further. 2. Whoop. And then exhale. Brush back. See, it's okay if it's not perfect. 1, 2, and then brush back. Good. Using those abdominals to draw the leg into that flexion and then squeeze your glute, press it behind. 2 more times and back. Last one. Kick, kick, and brush. Now line it back up. Reach the arm. Slowly as you can, come up. And then come on down. Woo. All right, we're gonna do one more of those. This is just me resting my hips. Okay, hip width apart, arms out. Lean over and place the hand down. Now this time, just leave the arm reaching up and take some small circles. Now you can make these circles a little bit bigger as long as you feel like you can stabilize the torso. Now go the other direction, circling the opposite way. 3, 2, pause the leg, push up, and then switch sides. Here we go. Tumble onto the hand softly and reach. Circle. Good, keeping those nice angles at shoulder and hip. Reverse and go the other way. We don't want to droop this hip to the floor. Keep it lifted. 2, 1, reach the leg, come up, and then relax down. So good, you guys. All right, so in the vein of side stuff, we're gonna do a little side plank variation. So place one hand on the mat. So for me, I've got my left hand down. Now I'm gonna stagger my legs into this side plank. So you want your top foot forward and your bottom foot back. So for me, my top foot is gonna be my right, so that's gonna go forward. My bottom foot is gonna be my left, so that is gonna go back. Now, you can have as big of a split between the feet as you want. I've got my front one about at the front of the mat, back one at about the back. All right, now reach the arms. You can modify with 2 hands down if you need to. We're gonna bend the knees and sit our weight towards the feet and then push away. Knees tracking forward. Yes, now it'll depend how far you've got your feet staggered as to how this looks. So for me, my bottom knee is getting pretty close to my front heel, okay? My back heel is coming off of the mat when my knees bend. Now pause in your side plank, rotate to put both hands down, and we'll switch sides. So now my left foot is forward, right is back, my left arm is reaching, and I'm gonna bend and press. Staying so strong under this supporting arm for 3, 2, 1. Now get to your plank, lift your heels, swivel to switch. Now we're gonna do 1 bend and stretch on each side. 1, 2, switch sides, 1, 2. Now you can break this up and keep it slow. Or if you'd like, by the time your arm is up, your knees are bent. So we're really moving through it. And it's almost like we don't pause in the side plank. We just go from plank to bent knees. Plank to bent knees. 3, 2, last one. And then come on down. Whew. Okay, how was that? Fun, I hope. All right, okay, you guys, we're so close to being done. So we are gonna do a little bit of some boomerang. We're gonna do some preps to get into it first. So boomerang is a tricky advanced exercise that we don't always see very much. So we're going to try to dive into it a little bit today. Do what you can and just experiment with it, okay? So turn your legs out so that they're about, kind of like heels together, toes apart, nice and tight together, okay? So take your hands to the floor, reach them forward, and round your spine away from your legs. This is a really active flexion, super connected through the abdominals, and you can help that by pushing your fingertips into the floor, and you'll feel that connection, okay? So now, I push with my fingerprints without changing the shape of my back. I'm just gonna see if I can float a foot off the floor and put it down. And it might not look like much, but this is so hard, yes? In this flexed spine and these super flexed hips going against gravity is not easy, okay? But these are the exact muscles that are gonna help us in the full boomerang. So this is such a good place to kind of feel what we should be working here, okay? Okay, so now cross one ankle over the other. Get into that same position. Now we're gonna see if we can lift both legs off the mat at the same time. Ready? Push with your fingers, float the feet, and then touch back down. Experiment with the placement of your hands. I like to feel like I'm pushing the mat away from me with my fingertips. That really works for me. Okay, you find what works for you. And then down. Okay, so this is the start of the boomerang, if you can believe it. Scoot forward a little bit. So press into the fingertips. Now that is going to be our initial rollover to our shoulder blades. Once you're here, switch which leg is crossed over front. Slowly roll back down. Reach the arms forward, almost like a crisscross teaser. Now, the feet are gonna slowly drop. I'm gonna swim my arms around as I fold forward and then circle my arms out and around and place them onto the floor, okay? So now for me, I'm actually starting with my elbows a little bit bent, so see if that works. I'm starting with kind of bent elbows, pushing into my hands, roll back. Now try to keep this relationship between your legs and your body pretty darn close to the same until here it can start to change. My legs go down, I drop my head, I get the biggest range I can to circle, and then I place the hands down. Okay, let's try that again. And again, come at this with kind of a beginner's mindset to the advanced exercises, and just think of it as play, yeah? So kind of here's the outline, and then just play with it, yeah? There's really no rules. There's just the rules of how we think we can help you to do this better. But if you've got a better way, try it, yeah? Roll down, find your teaser, press, and then circle. Okay, I think we got one more in us, yeah? Press, draw the belly back, roll away. Find your balance, slowly dive, and then circle. Oh, it's pretty fun once you get the gist of it. So I encourage you to revisit that one a few times until you get it in your body, okay? All right, you guys, so now we're gonna lay on our backs to finish up, and we are gonna try to do some short spine on the mat, which sounds pretty fun. So now obviously this is done with our feet and straps on the reformer. So we're not gonna have the support that we normally do from the straps, but it's really fun to try to still move the spine in that same way, okay? It's gonna be a lot of work for the abdominals. So arms down, imprint the spine, reach your legs on a low diagonal. Okay, now float the legs up, tuck your tail under. So it's kind of like a rollover to start with. Get the legs about horizontal, level with the floor. Now, sort of like we would for jackknife, press your feet up. Chin off your chest, extend the hips. Now, bend your knees like a frog, flex, and externally rotate. Now, leave your heels where they are in space. Start to roll your hips down, open your knee joint, and then when you can't hold on anymore, roll your hips down, Pull the heels to your seat, reach out, turn parallel. Let's do that again. Inhale, float. Exhale. The slower the better. If you want to drop your feet for an extra stretch here, you can. Now, fan the hips open. Bend like a frog. Now watch your heels. They don't move. I roll my hips away from them. My knee joint opens. And then I pull with my heels to finish the roll down and then reach out. Yeah, do that a few more times. So really envision that you're doing this on the reformer. The mechanics are the exact same. Turn out, flex and bend. Now here's the hardest part because our weight starts to pull away from that stacked line. Now bring the heels with you and press away. So good, you guys. Let's do that one more time. It's kind of amazing. Who needs the straps? Not us. Turn out and bend. Roll the hips. Pull with the feet. Oh my goodness. So good. All right, you guys, we're going to try one last exercise. It's kind of ridiculous how hard it is, but that's kind of the spirit of some of the advanced exercises. So if you are familiar with the reformer repertoire, you'll know of an exercise called control balance, and a variation of that is to kind of like cartwheel off the reformer while doing it. And it's kind of wild, and it's mostly just for fun. So we're going to try doing that on the floor. Now, obviously, we're not on a reformer. You need to have a neck that is okay with this movement. So if your neck is not great at the moment, feel free to skip this. But again, just try it. And even if it's a total train wreck, it's going to be fun. Okay, so no pressure. So we're going to do a prep for it first. So we won't roll over yet, okay? So reach your legs out just how we started in your imprint. Inhale to lift. Exhale, we fold over. Now we're going to extend the hips exactly like we did for our short spine. Now, drop one leg off to the side of one temple and lift the top leg higher and then meet back to the ceiling. Do the other side. Tap and then lift. Yes? So feel how when one foot drops, the other one has to lift to keep that stacked position. All right, one more time. And then just roll down from here, okay? All right, so you can just do that, okay? I'm gonna show you what it would look like to do this funky little somersault kind of deal. And if that is something you wanna try, then go for it, or just know it's something that's possible and you can work toward, okay? So here we go. It's a little wild, but we're gonna do it anyways. All right, so we roll over. This is all the same. I lift up. Now I pick which foot is gonna drop. For me, it's gonna be my left. I'm gonna drop it so far that my foot touches the floor. Now I'm gonna roll over my left shoulder, push off my hands, press up onto my hands, and get into like a quadruped bird dog position. Okay, now to reverse that, I kind of move my right hand back where it was. I tuck under, I roll over my left shoulder to look at the ceiling, and I come back. Was that just totally crazy? Now let's do the other side. Let's see if I can do this without hitting the door. Drop your other foot. For me, it's my right. I roll over my right shoulder. Now watch my left hand. It flips over to help push, and I feed my head through my arms. And then for me, I kind of fix my hands here. Now go back again. Move your left hand back, tuck under, go under your shoulder, look upside down at the ceiling, and then roll down. Now, if at any point you wanted to kind of brace your hips with your hands, you could. All right, I'm going to do that for you one more time on either side, and either just watch to try to figure out what on earth I'm doing, or give it a try yourself. Okay, I'll talk you through it the best I can. Probably the most confusing thing is what I'm doing with my hands. For you, it might be different. It's whatever you can do to get through it, but I'll explain what's working for me, okay? So here we go. I'm going to say what limb I'm doing what with, if that's helpful. So I'm going to roll over. I float my feet. For me, I drop my left toe to the floor. Now I put my left knee down and I start to press. I flip my hands over so that I can push up on them and look at the mat. Okay, now just totally rewind that like you're rewinding a VHS. Move your right hand back on the mat, tuck your chin, flip your back arm, roll onto your shoulders. If you want to grab your hips, you can. Now let's go to the other side. Drop your right foot, knee to the mat. I roll and flip my arms to free my head. Woo, push up and kind of reset. Now we do that again. Reach your left hand back, tuck under, roll your right shoulder to the floor, and then your left can follow. And then we roll down. Oh, kind of makes you feel like a kid again, which is kind of awesome. All right, so come on up, you guys. Ooh, let's take a little shell stretch. I think we need that to kind of reset. So just sit on your heels. Maybe bring your hands back by your feet. And just take a few breaths to kind of come back into your body. All right, you guys. Okay, I hope you hung in there with me and had a good time. And even if not every exercise was perfect today, I hope that you'll revisit these and try them again. It's a really fun way to measure your progress, is to come back to these really hard exercises and see, oh, hey, I can do it today. Look how much stronger I must be. So please do that. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments or feedback, leave it in the comments below. And let me know if you have any ideas for future videos. Please subscribe to the channel, share it with a friend, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much. Bye.